Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Phenomenal Views. I am your host Nick Smith, and this is the second review of the second episode of Gotham. Now, like I said, these I will do every week, but they will not be posted until the mid-season finale of Gotham. So, this episode starts with, once again, Bruce is testing himself. He's testing his body. Like how in the first episode he was on top of the mansion. In this one he's putting his hand over a fire. He's cutting himself. And it's starting to freak Alfred out because he has no idea what to do. So while that's going on, we see in this episode they do more with Selena Kyle. Now, when the first episode came out, a lot of people were like, Selena was useless. She shouldn't have been in the episode, blah, blah, blah. In this episode, they do give something Selena to do. In this one, she is involved with a murder, or two murderers, who are working for a villain that was in Arrow Season 2 called the Dollmaker, who apparently they are abducting homeless children and taking them to this guy. I don't know what that's going to, it might not go into anything because they did arrest the two criminals at the end of the episode. So once again, spoilers, if you guys have not seen the episode, of course, just, if you guys haven't seen the episode, if you don't want to watch this review, I'll give you guys a couple seconds. Okay, so Gordon and Bullock are investigating this case of children being abducted, homeless children who are being abducted and who are being taken. And so now we do get some more disagreeing with Gordon and Bullock. How Gordon hates corrupt cops. And Bullock is bringing up, you killed someone last week. So what's all of a sudden this big, gigantic thing of you saying that corruption is wrong? But he doesn't know that the Penguin is still alive, and thus we see Penguin, who, if you guys seen the commercial for the next episode, is limping on the street hitchhiking, trying to get a ride. And people do tease him again. They do the whole entire thing, like, you know, like when your friends are being douches or just being funny sometimes, when you put your hand on the handle to open the door and they drive a little bit, they were doing that to him. So then they let him in the car and they give him something to drink, they give him a beer, and like, dude, did you know that when you walk you look like a penguin? And he's like, no one's ever told me that. So then he kills both of them, and then he goes and finds this place and he rents a room. So then we're left with Gordon and Bullock talking with their chief of police. I don't know if it is Commissioner Loeb. He has not been introduced yet. Now, in the comic, or let me rephrase this, in the animated film Batman Year One, Commissioner Loeb and Falcone are in control of Gotham. Or he's one of the people that is with Falcone. They have not introduced the commissioner yet. I don't know if it's a woman or not, but they did introduce their boss, so it might be the commissioner. They never said. So, you know, they find out that these kids are getting killed. Gordon wants to report it to give it to the city. You're like, shouldn't the city know that someone is going around kidnapping kids? You know, shouldn't someone know about it? And their boss is like, we don't want the city to know because no one cares. No one knows about what's going on and no one cares. And so then they go to Fish, who we see gets talked to by Falcone. And when Falcone walks in, Falcone has this presence. You know, and they even prove in this episode once again just how powerful and how scared people are of him. Because apparently Falcone found out that Fish found out that Penguin told Falcone about all the stuff Fish said. You know, Fish is like, when he gets old, I am going to kill that old man and take his power because it rightfully belongs to me. Or some along the lines of something like that. And so the Penguin told Falcone. Falcone comes in and he's like, now, did you say these things? And she's like, no, of course not. I have absolute love for you. And then he's like, where's your lover? You mean and they did reference the person who was actually telling jokes. And now that was something from the first episode that I don't think I mentioned. I might have, but I don't know. Someone who was telling jokes on stage was doing a bad job at it. And we all know the Joker, before he became the Joker, was a failed comedian. So, you know, they do mention him, but she's like, he's not around. So then all of a sudden Falcone gets this waiter. And he's like, you see this woman? I love her, and she is more important to me. More important to me than my own life, or something like that. You break her heart, you break mine. He's like, yes, sir. Then he has his 2 lackeys kill the guy in front of a bunch of people. And this was the thing I was talking about. No one cares because they're so afraid of Falcone, because he has the city in the palm of his hand, along with the Gotham Police Department and the rest of it. And then he just walks off. Now, we do see that the Major Crimes Department are interrogating Cobblepot's mom to try to figure out where he is and what he knows. And then they don't really give anything more from them. But we do get some more character development with Barbara and Gordon, and how Gordon is basically keeping Barbara out of the loop. But, you know, like, husband and wife, fiance, you know, 2 fiancés, you pretty much know when something is going on. And she's like, you know, you're not the same, you're not, just things aren't the same anymore. You know, what's going on with you? And he's like, I'm just not sleeping well. But he doesn't want Barbara to know what's going on. He tells her, she knows about the crime, but she's like, why don't you guys tell the press? He's like, I can't do that. All of a sudden, Barbara picks up the phone. She just picks up the phone and she's like, yes, there has been someone who has been kidnapping children. You might want to put it to the press and alert the city. Done. And she did it, and I looked at my friend and I was like, that's not gonna go well, is it? No. Okay. And then, after that, we do get more about how they are looking more into the case, and when some guy finds out, he says to the press, we are going to take care of these kids, but he's sending the good ones to good foster homes, and he's sending the bad ones to foster care. And my friends and I looked at each other and we were like, you're arresting kids for being homeless. Guy of the year, way to go. And this is the thing I was talking about with Selena Kyle. This episode is more focused on her being in this and them establishing how well she is on the street. And her nickname is actually Cat, like the cat or cat. And so, you know, she's when they're putting the kids on this bus, she's like, you know, hey kid, you know, juvenile hall is not so bad. You know, don't make friends with people who are really nice. If they try to fight you, go for the eyes, which I'll get to that in a minute. But then all of a sudden, they're put on the same bus with the killers that they got rescued from. They are taken by those same people, which Gordon and Bullock did find them and arrested them, but somehow they got out. Or that they ran away and somehow they got involved with the 3 buses. And like in The Dark Knight, how two buses went missing. They take one whole bus and they're taking them to the doll maker, and they put all the children in crates except for Selena. Selena does something very smart because she is Catwoman. She is actually sneaking from like a normal school bus, not bush. She is sneaking from in a regular school bus. She is hopping from seat to seat, crawling under the seats, and whenever they would check those seats, she would be gone, and she escaped. And so then, when she is basically running, there's a guy that is screaming in pain, and the girl walks out, and they notice that this guy is covering his eyes, and his fingers are covered in blood. And she's like, alright, come on, let me see. And his eyes were freaking gone. I'm like, this was my reaction. Oh my gosh! Because Selena clawed out his eyes. Like, his eyes were gone. And he's like, is it bad? And she's like, it's just a scratch. You'll be fine. Hold on just 1 minute. What was that? She's trying to shoot him. And, you know, at least my friends and I, when she killed him, we were like, you know, at least she put him out of his misery. You know, she didn't make him suffer. She shot him in the head. So she's like, just hold on. Okay, here we go. Bam, shoots him in the head to end his misery. And so then we get how Selena keeps wanting to talk to Gordon because she knows he's a good cop. She's been following him. She actually says, I've been following you and watching you talk with the boy. I know. And the episode ends when Selena is talking to Gordon and she's like, I know who really killed the Waynes. And then that's how the episode ends. There are some other stuff in this episode that was really good. We do get some more stuff with Riddler, and we find out that the kids are getting drugged up on the stuff that was used when Arkham Asylum was in, but they said the place has been shut down. And they keep talking about how the Wayne family, how they're being gone, and all that stuff like that. You know, how it's going to put it, there's so many people, because of that money is out there, because of the Waynes being gone, this city's going to be in havoc, and a lot of people are going to try and take that money, I guess. And, you know, like, a lot of families are wanting that money because the Waynes were one of the most powerful families in Gotham. I mean, Bruce is freaking loaded, and he's like 15, but the actor looks like he's 12. But now the things with Bruce, once again, we see he is slowly developing himself into Batman, burning his hand. Alfred even comes to the police department and says he's cutting himself. I can't take him to a psychiatrist. And then we find out that Gordon's like, well, how are you going to raise him? And he's like, Mr. Wayne gave me very specific details on what to do with his son if they ever passed away. And Gordon's like, what's that? To trust him. To basically say, if me and my wife pass away, we want you to trust our son to do the right thing, to make the right decisions on his own. And so Gordon's like, isn't that basically a case for disaster? And then when he goes and talks to Bruce, he's like, I know that you're hurting yourself. And he's like, I'm not, I'm testing myself. There's a difference. And so, you know, like I said, the episode does end with Selena telling him telling him that she knows who really killed the Waynes. And this was a good episode. And now one other thing, this episode made me and my friend think of frickin' Saw, because when one of the scenes in this, Selena just wakes up and she's in a room full with other kids, and they're chained down there. And I was like, as soon as the show went on commercial, I was like, guys, 5 seconds. What does that show make you think of? 1, 2, 3, Saw. Bingo! But all in all, this was a very good episode. I strongly recommend that you watch it. Once again, a lot of the characters, the only character that they did not mention in this one was Poison Ivy. Now, I don't know if they're going to have anything planned for her in the future. I know she was in the first episode because they were having her father being framed for the Wayne murder. But other than that, she's not been mentioned. But all in all, once again, this was a good episode. Guys, tell me what you guys are thinking of Gotham growing as a series. Now, actually, one more thing. When they first mentioned the doll maker, they said in the second season of Arrow, that's when he took him down. So, this and Gotham are obviously in the same universe, and maybe someday, if they ever get to Gotham when Bruce becomes Batman, maybe they will have Batman and Arrow meet up. Maybe they'll do a team up someday. Who knows? But guys, this has been another episode of Phenomenal Views. This has been the second episode of Gotham. Please put in the comments and subscribe. What did you think of this episode? Tell me what you thought of all of these episodes. What do you think of Gotham so far? And what have you thought of it as a series? Guys, have a good night.